Have you ever wondered what your final thought will be before you die? Not your next goal, not your next purchase, not the problem that's stressing you out today, but the thought that will enter your mind when you realize your life is coming to an end. Al-Ghazali warned that the greatest tragedy is not death itself. The greatest tragedy is reaching the end of your life and discovering that you spent your precious years chasing things that never truly mattered. Wealth, status, praise, and worldly success can consume an entire lifetime, yet none of them can follow you into the grave. The frightening truth is that every day you are moving closer to your final chapter. Every choice, every habit, and every distraction is shaping the story you will one day look back upon. And when that final moment arrives, only one question will matter. Did you live for what was temporary, or did you live for what was eternal? In this video, we'll explore 7 powerful lessons from Al-Ghazali's warning about life, death, purpose, and the mistakes that cause people to waste the greatest gift they were ever given: their time. Before you die, understand this, because once the final page is turned, there are no more chances to rewrite the story. The biggest loss is not death. It is wasting your soul. According to Al-Ghazali, most people fear death, but very few fear something far more dangerous: living an entire life disconnected from their true purpose. Death itself is not the greatest tragedy. The real tragedy is reaching the end of life and realizing that you spent your years chasing things that could never truly satisfy your heart. Many people spend decades pursuing wealth, status, attention, and comfort, believing that happiness lies just one achievement away. Yet when they finally obtain what they wanted, they often discover an uncomfortable truth. The emptiness remains. The soul continues to hunger because it was never created to be fed by temporary things. It was created to know God, seek truth, and grow in wisdom. Al-Ghazali warned that people can become so distracted by the noise of the world that they forget why they are here. They become busy but not fulfilled, successful but not peaceful, surrounded by possessions yet spiritually empty. The danger is that this realization often arrives too late. Every day that passes is a day that can never return. Every hour is part of the life that is slowly slipping away. The question is not whether death will come. The question is whether you will be ready when it does. If your life ended today, what would truly matter? Not your bank account, not your social media followers, not the opinions of strangers. What would matter is the condition of your soul and how you spent the time that was entrusted to you. Al-Ghazali's warning is simple but profound. Do not wait until the end of life to discover what was important all along. Wake up now. Use your days wisely. Invest in what survives beyond the grave. Because the greatest loss is not dying. The greatest loss is realizing at the moment of death that you never truly lived for what mattered. The world is temporary, but people live as if it is permanent. One of the greatest illusions that traps humanity is the belief that there will always be more time to change, more time to repent, more time to pursue what truly matters, more time to become the person we know we should be. Al-Ghazali constantly reminded people that this world is temporary by design. Everything around us is changing. Youth becomes old age, health becomes sickness, strength becomes weakness. Wealth comes and goes, relationships change, entire civilizations rise and fall. Nothing in this world remains forever. Yet despite knowing this, people behave as though they have unlimited time. They postpone their spiritual growth. They delay important conversations. They ignore the deeper questions of existence. They tell themselves they will focus on their soul later, after they achieve one more goal or solve one more problem. But life does not guarantee a later. Every graveyard is filled with people who had plans for tomorrow. Every generation believed it had more time than it actually did. The future is never promised. The only moment we truly possess is the present one. Al-Ghazali taught that wisdom begins when a person stops treating life as permanent. When you remember that your time is limited, your priorities start to change. Petty arguments lose their importance. Endless distractions lose their appeal. The approval of strangers becomes less significant. What matters most becomes clearer. The awareness of death is not meant to create fear. It is meant to create clarity. It reminds us to stop wasting our lives on things that do not matter and focus on what does. The temporary nature of life is not a curse. It is a lesson. And those who understand this lesson before death gain a perspective that many people never discover. Your heart becomes what you feed. Al-Ghazali believed that the heart is the center of a person's spiritual life. Just as the body becomes healthy or unhealthy based on what it consumes, the heart is shaped by what it constantly focuses on. If a person spends years feeding their mind with envy, greed, pride, anger, and endless distractions, those qualities begin to dominate their character. Eventually, they become part of who they are. But if a person feeds their heart with gratitude, remembrance of God, humility, patience, and sincere reflection, the heart gradually transforms. It becomes calmer, stronger, more peaceful. The problem is that many people pay careful attention to their physical health while completely neglecting their spiritual health. They monitor what enters their stomach, but rarely question what enters their heart through their thoughts, habits, and daily influences. Every book you read, every video you watch, every conversation you have, and every thought you repeatedly entertain is shaping the person you are becoming. Al-Ghazali warned that a neglected heart slowly hardens. It loses sensitivity to truth. It becomes attached to temporary pleasures and less interested in higher purposes. Over time, the soul begins to feel empty, even when life appears successful from the outside. This is why self-awareness is so important. Ask yourself, what am I feeding my heart every day? Are my habits bringing me closer to wisdom or further away from it? Because whether you realize it or not, your heart is always growing in a particular direction. The only question is whether that direction is leading you toward peace or regret. Most people are prisoners of their desires. Al-Ghazali observed that many people believe they are free when, in reality, they are controlled by their desires. A desire itself is not evil. Human beings naturally want comfort, pleasure, recognition, and success. The problem begins when these desires become masters instead of servants. A person who cannot control their anger is not free. A person who cannot resist temptation is not free. A person who constantly needs validation from others is not free. They are being controlled by forces inside themselves. True freedom comes from self-mastery. The strongest person is not the one who can dominate others. The strongest person is the one who can govern their own mind and desires. This is one of the hardest battles a human being will ever face. The modern world constantly encourages people to follow every impulse. If you feel something, act on it. If you want something, pursue it immediately. If something is uncomfortable, avoid it. But Al-Ghazali taught the opposite. Growth often requires resisting impulses rather than obeying them. Discipline is what separates a meaningful life from a wasted one. Every time you choose patience over anger, wisdom over impulse, and purpose over distraction, you strengthen your character. You become less controlled by temporary desires and more guided by deeper values. The person who conquers the world but remains a slave to their desires has not truly won. But the person who conquers themselves has achieved something far greater. The pursuit of status is a dangerous trap. One of the most powerful warnings from Al-Ghazali was not about wealth, poverty, or even worldly success. It was about something far more subtle and dangerous: the human hunger for status, recognition, and admiration. Most people do not realize how much of their lives are controlled by what others think of them. They choose careers to impress people. They buy things to gain approval. They hide their true selves because they fear judgment. Without noticing it, they become prisoners of public opinion. The desire to be respected is natural. Every human being wants to feel valued. But Al-Ghazali warned that when the need for recognition becomes the center of your life, it slowly steals your freedom. You stop asking what is right and start asking, what will people think? You stop living according to truth and begin living according to appearances. The tragedy is that no amount of status is ever enough. The moment you reach one level, another appears. If you become respected in your community, you want to be known by your city. If you become known by your city, you want recognition from the world. The latter never ends. There is always someone richer, more successful, more admired, and more celebrated than you. Al-Ghazali compared worldly fame to a mirage in the desert. From a distance, it looks like water. You believe that once you reach it, your thirst will finally disappear. But when you arrive, you discover that it was only an illusion. The satisfaction you expected never truly comes. Instead, the thirst grows stronger. Look carefully at the people who spend their lives chasing applause. They are often the most anxious. One compliment makes them happy, but one criticism destroys their peace. Their emotions become controlled by the opinions of strangers. They are no longer living for God, truth, or purpose. They are living for approval. But people's opinions are among the most unstable things in the world. Today they celebrate you. Tomorrow they forget you. Today they praise your success. Tomorrow they criticize your mistakes. If your identity depends on their approval, your peace will always be fragile. Al-Ghazali taught that true freedom begins when you stop needing everyone to admire you. There is incredible peace in doing the right thing, even when nobody notices. There is incredible strength in remaining sincere, even when no applause follows. The soul becomes lighter when it is no longer carrying the burden of constantly trying to impress others. Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing that most of your decisions were made to gain approval from people who were equally lost, equally temporary, and equally unable to save you from death. What a painful realization that would be. The reality is that when you stand before God, your reputation will not matter. Your titles will not matter. Your followers, your status, and the image you carefully built for the world will not matter. What will matter is the sincerity hidden inside your actions and the condition of your heart. That is why Al-Ghazali's warning remains so relevant today. In a world obsessed with attention, likes, followers, and recognition, remember this: a meaningful life is not measured by how many people know your name. It is measured by how much truth, sincerity, and goodness live within your soul. Because in the end, the people whose approval you spent your life chasing will disappear from your story, but the state of your heart will remain forever. Death is closer than you think. Among all of Al-Ghazali's teachings, perhaps none was more direct, more urgent, and more life-changing than his reminder of death. He believed that one of the greatest reasons people waste their lives is because they live as though death belongs to someone else. They see funerals, hear about tragedies, and witness people leaving this world every day, yet deep inside they continue to believe that they themselves have plenty of time. But death does not announce its arrival. It does not wait for your plans to be completed. It does not wait for you to achieve your goals, repair your relationships, or finally become the person you intended to be. It comes at its appointed time, whether a person is ready or not. Al-Ghazali warned that the most dangerous illusion is not ignorance. It is the illusion of later. Later I will pray more. Later I will seek God. Later I will become disciplined. Later I will forgive. Later I will change my habits. Later I will focus on what truly matters. But for many people, later never arrives. Every cemetery is filled with people who thought they had more time. Every grave belongs to someone who once made plans for the future. They expected another year, another month, another tomorrow. Yet death arrived before those plans could become reality. This is why Al-Ghazali encouraged people to remember death regularly, not to become depressed, but to become awake. The remembrance of death is not meant to make life darker. It is meant to make life more meaningful. When you truly understand that your time is limited, you stop treating your days carelessly. You stop wasting hours on things that bring no value. You become more intentional with your choices because you realize that every day is a piece of your life that can never be recovered. Think about it for a moment. There was a time when you were a child, then suddenly you became a teenager. Then years passed, and you found yourself where you are today. Life moves much faster than we imagine. The years we thought would last forever disappeared almost without warning. One day, if we are blessed with old age, we will look back and wonder where all the time went. Al-Ghazali wanted people to understand that death is not merely the end of life. It is the beginning of accountability. It is the moment when all excuses disappear. The distractions of the world fade away. The games of status, wealth, and reputation lose their importance. What remains is the reality of how we lived and who we became. The frightening thing is not death itself. The frightening thing is reaching death unprepared. Imagine spending your entire life collecting things that cannot follow you into the grave. Imagine dedicating decades to gaining wealth, recognition, and worldly success, only to discover that none of it can accompany you beyond your final breath. In that moment, many of the things that once seemed important will appear meaningless. Al-Ghazali often reminded people that every single day is a gift from God. Every morning you wake up is another opportunity that countless others did not receive. The fact that you are alive right now means that your story is not finished. You still have time to repent. You still have time to grow. You still have time to repair what is broken. You still have time to become closer to God. But the window is not open forever. The wise person does not wait for a crisis to remember what matters. The wise person does not wait for sickness to appreciate health. The wise person does not wait until their final moments to think about their soul. They live each day with the awareness that life is precious because it is temporary. Death has a strange power. It reveals what truly matters. When you remember that your life could end sooner than expected, many of your worries suddenly lose their grip on you. Petty arguments seem foolish. Endless comparisons seem pointless. The need to impress others begins to fade. You start focusing on things that have lasting value: faith, character, kindness, truth, and sincere devotion. Al-Ghazali taught that the remembrance of death is one of the greatest spiritual awakenings available to a human being. It shatters the illusion that we have unlimited time. It forces us to confront reality. It reminds us that every breath is a treasure, and every moment is part of a countdown we cannot see. The question is not whether death will come. It is already moving toward every one of us with every passing second. The real question is this: if death came tonight, would you be satisfied with how you spent your life today? Would you be proud of what occupied your mind? Would you be proud of the way you treated others? Would you be proud of the condition of your heart? These are uncomfortable questions, but they are the questions that matter most. Because one day, sooner than we expect, our final chapter will be written. Our opportunities will end. Our excuses will disappear, and everything we delayed will remain delayed forever. That is Al-Ghazali's warning. Do not live as though you have endless tomorrows. Live with awareness. Live with purpose. Live with sincerity. Use your time before time runs out. Because the greatest mistake is not that death comes unexpectedly. The greatest mistake is seeing death approaching your entire life and still pretending that you have forever. The life you live today is writing your final story. Perhaps the most sobering warning from Al-Ghazali is that your life is being recorded even when you are not paying attention. Every day you wake up, you add another page to a story that can never be rewritten. Every decision, every habit, every sacrifice, every distraction, every act of kindness, and every moment of neglect becomes part of the final story of who you are. Most people imagine that their lives will ultimately be defined by a few major events, but Al-Ghazali understood something far deeper. A person's destiny is not created in a single dramatic moment. It is created quietly, through ordinary days that seem insignificant while they are happening. The life you will look back upon at the end of your journey is being built right now, in this very moment, through choices that may appear small, but are shaping the direction of your soul. The tragedy is that most people live as if there will always be more time. They tell themselves that one day they will become serious about what matters. One day they will strengthen their faith. One day they will become disciplined. One day they will stop wasting their potential. One day they will forgive the people they resent. One day they will pursue the purpose they feel in their hearts. But Al-Ghazali warned that one day is one of the greatest illusions that destroys human lives. The future is promised to no one. The person who keeps postponing what matters often reaches the end of life, still waiting for the perfect moment to begin. Years pass, opportunities disappear, strength fades, and eventually they realize that the life they planned to live remained only a plan. What makes this warning so powerful is that Al-Ghazali shifts our attention away from grand achievements and toward daily actions. We often underestimate the importance of small choices because they do not seem life-changing in the moment. One prayer seems small, one act of patience seems small, one decision to tell the truth seems small, one moment of gratitude seems small, 1 hour spent learning, reflecting, or growing seems insignificant. Yet these small actions are the building blocks of character. They accumulate day after day until they become the person you are. Just as a river slowly carves through solid rock through consistency rather than force, the repeated actions of your daily life gradually shape your soul. The person you become 10 years from now is not being created by a single event in the future. That person is being created by what you repeatedly choose today. Al-Ghazali wanted people to understand that every day carries enormous spiritual weight because every day is irreversible. When money is lost, it can often be earned again. When opportunities disappear, new opportunities may arise. But when a day passes, it is gone forever. No wealth, no power, no influence, and no success can purchase back a single hour that has already vanished. Think about how quickly the years have disappeared. There was a time when you believed adulthood was far away. There was a time when entire summers felt endless. There was a time when the future seemed limitless. Yet somehow those years became memories. The conversations ended, the moments passed, the people changed. Entire chapters of life disappeared without asking permission. This is the reality that Al-Ghazali wanted people to confront. Time is not slowing down. The pages are turning whether you notice them or not. One of the most painful realizations a person can experience is reaching the later years of life and discovering that they spent decades pursuing things that never truly mattered. Many people sacrifice their souls for temporary pleasures. They chase status, wealth, recognition, and approval, believing these things will finally bring fulfillment. Yet when they eventually obtain them, they often discover an emptiness that success cannot fill. The reason is simple. The human soul was never created to be satisfied by temporary things. It was created for something higher. Al-Ghazali believed that true fulfillment comes not from what you possess, but from who you become. At the end of life, you will not be comforted by how much attention you received. You will be comforted by the sincerity of your faith, the quality of your character, and the goodness you left behind. This is why he encouraged constant self-examination. He wanted people to pause and ask themselves difficult questions before life forced those questions upon them. What kind of story am I writing with my actions? What direction is my life moving toward? If my hidden thoughts became visible, what would they reveal about me? If my habits continue unchanged for the next 10 years, who will I become? Am I building a life that I will be proud of when my final day arrives? These questions are uncomfortable because they strip away excuses. They force us to confront the gap between the life we are living and the life we know we should be living. Yet despite the seriousness of this warning, Al-Ghazali's message is ultimately filled with hope. The fact that you are still breathing means your story is not finished. The next page has not yet been written. No matter how many mistakes you have made, no matter how much time you feel you have wasted, no matter how far you believe you have drifted from your purpose, you still have the power to begin a new chapter. You can still seek forgiveness. You can still grow. You can still change direction. You can still become wiser, kinder, stronger, and closer to God than you were yesterday. As long as life remains within you, transformation remains possible. But Al-Ghazali's warning is that this opportunity will not last forever. One day the final page will arrive. One day your story will be complete. The titles you earned will remain behind. The possessions you collected will remain behind. The image you carefully presented to the world will remain behind. Even the people who love you will eventually continue their journey without you. What will remain is the person you became. What will remain is the condition of your soul. What will remain is the story written by thousands of ordinary days that once seemed insignificant. And when that final moment arrives, you will not wish for more fame. You will not wish for more distractions. You will not wish that you had spent more time worrying about the opinions of strangers. You will wish that you had loved more sincerely. You will wish that you had lived more intentionally. You will wish that you had invested more deeply in what lasts beyond this world. That is why the most important day of your life is not tomorrow, next year, or some distant future when circumstances finally become perfect. The most important day of your life is today, because today is the page you are writing right now. And one day, when you stand at the end of your journey and look back over every chapter, every struggle, every victory, every failure, and every choice, you will finally understand the truth Al-Ghazali spent his life teaching. Your destiny was never written in a single extraordinary moment. It was written through ordinary days, repeated again and again. The life you are living today is becoming the story you will carry into eternity. The question is not whether you are writing that story. The question is whether you are writing a story that will fill your heart with peace when the final page is turned. Conclusion. As we come to the end of these lessons, take a moment to reflect on one simple but powerful truth. Every person who has ever walked this earth believed they had more time to change, more time to pursue what mattered, more time to become the person they were meant to be. Yet for every one of them, a day came when time ran out. This was the heart of Al-Ghazali's warning. Life is not as long as it appears. The days pass quietly, the years disappear quickly, and before we realize it, entire chapters of our lives have become memories. The real danger is not death itself. The real danger is reaching the end of life filled with regret, wishing we had spent less time chasing temporary things and more time nurturing our souls. But there is also hope in this message. If you are listening to these words right now, your story is not over. You still have time to change direction. You still have time to seek forgiveness. You still have time to strengthen your faith, improve your character, and focus on what truly matters. The pages ahead have not been written yet, so don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until life forces you to confront what you already know deep inside. Start today, because the life you are living right now is becoming your legacy, and the choices you make today are shaping the person you will be tomorrow. One day, your final chapter will arrive. And when it does, may you look back on your life not with regret, but with peace. Not wishing you had more time, but grateful for how you used the time you were given. Remember Al-Ghazali's warning. Don't waste your life chasing what won't last forever. Invest it in what will. And if this message spoke to you, take it with you today. Because the most important lesson about life is often the one we remember before it's too late.